This is the Raw Life Health Show. Raw Life.
Hello, everybody. It's Paul Neese with the Raw Life Health Show. I'm just so excited because I just picked up a jackfruit at the store. Jackfruit is an exotic fruit from Southeast Asia that grows a lot here in South Florida. It's very popular in the Caribbean and Jamaica, but you can't find these foods in most parts of the country. And what I'm excited about is what was once as exotic foods is no longer exotic to us here in the United States, not only in South Florida, but more and more you're starting to see these foods and fruits that you've never seen before, especially if you go to international markets like Asian grocery stores and so on, or Spanish markets. You see foods you've never seen before, and now they're popping up in the common supermarkets, and it's just really a great thing because variety is key. And a lot of people say a problem they feel they would have with a raw food diet or eating a healthy diet is accessibility, and also they think the diet might be too boring or something like that. And I tell people all the time, I say, look, if you're just talking about apples and oranges, yes, it will be boring. But if you're thinking about, jackfruit and leches and longans and cherimoya and soursop and all these fruits that most people in the United States hasn't even heard of, folks, it's not that boring. As a matter of fact, there are so many different varieties to the different fruits and vegetables that are out there. You could have more fruits and vegetables. You could eat a different fruit or vegetable every day for the rest of your life and not come close to tasting all of them. And, I heard that when I was younger, and I've been trying to eat every one and every variety, and it's just, I just went to a farm last year, which I'm going to go now because mangoes are coming back into season. They have over 300 varieties of mangoes, and they're right down the block from where I live. 300 varieties, and that's not even all of the ones that are out there. I've tasted a good amount. Now, when I lived up in New York City, I've had about maybe like one variety or two varieties, and they weren't even good varieties. 300. And I've had many of them, and some of them are not that great, but the majority of them are out of this world. It's literally amazing. And most people don't even get to taste them, and it's just such a terrible thing. But as I'm there and I go back to the farm, I'll record it. But I just want to let you know that check every supermarket around wherever you're living, if it's in the North Climate and the South Climate. Check the international markets. Check the main supermarkets, the organic section. Yes, it's more money because it's still considered somewhat exotic. But if it's there, try it. Try new things, and then you'll see how exciting it can be. And I'm really excited because I love things like carambola, which is star fruit. And I saw it the other day in the store, and it was a lot of money. It was like $1 or $2 for this one star fruit. And here I have a tree with tons on it, tons. And I just bought the jackfruit in the store. It was like $12, but I have a tree with that also, and it has a bunch on there, and so I'll get those soon. And I'll make my videos. I always record the videos with the jackfruit and stuff. So yeah, folks. It's not. Let me fix this. There you go. All right. So I'm excited. I'll get this on there. But for anybody that thinks it's boring to eat a raw food diet, it's really not. And just even if you want to get into being like a raw food chef or something, you can make anything taste good that's cooked. Like, so I'm talking about anything from hamburgers to hot dogs to French fries to pies and desserts and all these other things. You can make it taste amazing by just being raw and healthy. It's possible. And I wouldn't have believed it if I didn't see it, if I didn't do it, if I didn't experience it. But it's not that difficult. I make raw food pizza all the time. No cheese, just raw fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds. And it tastes great. Most people wouldn't know if you didn't mention it, that it was healthy and that it was even raw. Most people don't even know what raw is other than salsa or guacamole. So everyone's really had raw, but that's what it is basically. Like salsa and guacamole or something like that. So don't think you can't do it because it's not exciting, and how could you live on fruits and vegetables? Because you think fruits and vegetables is just apples, oranges, and bananas, but there's so much more than just apples, oranges, and bananas out there. So that's what I'm telling people, and I want people to understand that there's a lot more. And and it's not even in exotic places where you can find these things, or even your local grocery in an exotic part. It's becoming more common. I remember when I first went raw, there was these white coconuts that were shaved down white from Thailand, and you would only see them in Chinatown in New York City or something. But now you go everywhere, and they are everywhere. They're in my local supermarket here in Florida. I've been to it's like 7-Eleven stores and have seen these things, like the gas station stores, and I see these coconuts. It's just really amazing that it's becoming more popular and more common, that people would want something healthy after all the junk food and everything else is out there, so it can balance it out. And but you have to do your best to balance it out and try to get some of these things in your diet. Remember, raw, ripe, fresh, and organic should be, I would say, maybe 75 to 80% of your diet. Raw, ripe, fresh, and organic. Fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds. If you can't get organic, don't let that stop you. If you can't get ripe and fresh, you know what? Let that stop you. You know, I'd go for cooked food, and I'd go for non-organic if I had to. But ripe and fresh is more important than both of those. So raw and organic is like the best and the highest quality. But if you gotta forgo raw and organic for ripe and fresh is the majority of importance when it comes to what you're eating. And this is one of the reasons why not all people that are eating a vegan diet or a vegetarian diet are thriving, because even though it's might be vegan or raw or even organic, it might not be ripe or fresh, and that is key. As for organic, you know, organic is great because you don't want these toxic sprays on them and everything, but sometimes the unorganic stuff has more quality and nutrients than the organic. So you want to make sure you're getting, you know, it's best to research where you're getting your stuff too. And usually stuff that's locally grown is ripe and fresh. So if you can go to a farmer's market, or even better, grow it yourself, that's the best thing you can do. And that's what I try to do. I try to grow most of my food or go to a local farmer's market. If you do go to the supermarket, look where the food's coming from. Like if the food's coming from California or New York, or it's grown somewhere locally, even in your state, all the better. But if it's grown in another country, folks, leave it alone. Leave it alone. If you can. Now you might say, well, what about all these exotic fruits that grow in other countries? It used to be that way, but now they are growing right here. And I'm not saying never eat anything from another country, but you want to eat as close as possible to your house, and that'd be best. And you know, when we make these choices, you don't have to spend a lot of money on some magic food from halfway around the world when you got amazing food in your own backyard, or at least your local grocery store that was grown locally, or your local farmer's market, because it's raw and it's ripe and it's fresh, and most likely organic as well. So, and a lot cheaper too, if it doesn't have to be flown around the world for you to eat it. So that's just my suggestion, folks, and I think my suggestions have been working for a long time for me, and they can work for you as well. So it's almost mango season here now. I'll do another video, and you see on all the trees behind me, or not all of them, but a majority of them, there's mangoes like everywhere. It's like Candyland, and it's just loving it. So I'm going to be getting some good mangoes soon, and exploring with everybody the summer fruits of South Florida that are popping up everywhere in stores everywhere. And you know, don't like I said, even in New York, I would be able to get fresh green coconuts. I'm getting mangoes, Haitian mangoes, by the way. Haitian mangoes are actually all organic, even though they don't say they're organic. They're not. I mean, they're inexpensive as well because they're not labeled organic, but they are organic. So if you go to your local store and you see Haitian mangoes, get them, and they're delicious. They're amazing. All right, everybody. Thank you for checking out my video, and put your comments and questions below the videos. I do Q&A on all my questions on my site, rawlifehealthshow.com. It's a member site, and sometimes I post the same videos on YouTube is there, but for the most part, I got other videos there, longer videos and recipes there. And finally, I get your Q&As, your question and answers there. So until then, everybody, have a great day and a great raw life.
Nature's wealth, good for your health. This is the Raw Life Health Show. Raw Life, brighten up your life.